Do it. In a week in which the landscape of TNA is going to probably, most likely, change forever. This time tomorrow, near enough, they will be crossing enemy lines over in NXT. And then this coming Sunday, the biggest bound for glory in TNA history will emanate. And I'm really happy to say that I have got someone who recently debuted at TNA at Against All Odds, which I believe was in his hometown. It is, of course, the hometown man. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, Adam. Man, you very dramatically were able to get everybody hyped about Showdown and about Bound for Glory. Just the way you built that up, man. It's got me hyped about this next week. It's like what the biggest week in TNA wrestling history is happening like right now. We're in the middle of it, dude, and I'm excited, and I think the fans are excited too.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, I'm a TNA fan, and I can say I'm really excited about it. It's quite weird, though, isn't it? Because look, people would say 12, 18 months ago, this was kind of unheard of, a partnership. But we'll talk Showdown first, and then we'll go into your
Okay.
good self. This partnership was really unheard of in wrestling. No one's going to ever open that door. They did. You guys steamrolled through it. There's been a lot of toing and froing. Now we are kind of having two TNA people, former TNA wrestlers, refereeing the two big matches as a four or five match card, of
Yeah.
course. But is that going to be a bit weird? Are they kind of in two minds, would you say? Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry, that yes, you know, Jordan Grace now over into NXT, Joe Hendry kind of floating in between. Are they going to be in
Yep.
two minds when they do this tomorrow night?
I don't see how they couldn't be, right? I mean, when you see uh, a talent, a professional wrestler, you know, leave TNA, they don't ever really leave the family. You might leave the company, but you're still a family member because you're a family member for life. Jordan Grace is part of the TNA family, no matter where she wrestles. It doesn't matter what logo is underneath her feet in whatever ring. She's still a part of the TNA wrestling family. Joe Henry has been putting his feet on top of the NXT logo a lot more recently. He's still part of the TNA wrestling family. So when your family, ties are that strong as those two, I don't see how you couldn't, be pulled in a couple different directions. It's going it's going to make those matches even more interesting than they already are.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously a bit of history with Joe Hendry and a few of them in there, Kaz as well. But lastly, kind of arguably NXT have kind of had the better of it if you think of titles won. Obviously, Ali can win North American Championship tomorrow night. But is it time for TNA just to walk into that backyard and say, you know what, you've crossed our line, but we're crossing yours and we're coming here to take it all?
I think that's exactly the mindset because that's the mindset that we have to have. I mean, you've got people from NXT walking around with our championships with our logo on it. That logo is meaningful. Like that logo has history. It has a history that's a lot longer than the NXT logo. We've got over 2 decades of the biggest and brightest stars in professional wrestling history have walked through the doors of TNA, and you can't put a price tag on that. And the fact that our championships are being held by people that aren't contracted TNA wrestlers, I'm telling you right now, for not just the people that are in that match, but people that are in the locker room that haven't shown up on the NXT screen, we're pissed off about that. And we're going in there at Showdown treating it just like that. It is a showdown, and we are going to bring home what is ours, and that's going to culminate at Bound for Glory when Mike Santana brings that gold home back to the TNA wrestling family. I can't wait for the BFG main event, after Showdown. I can't wait to see what happens on Showdown first, and then that momentum that we pick up from Showdown, I can guarantee you right now it's gonna continue on into BFG.
I can't wait for BFG. And funny enough, tonight, obviously, for those of you in the UK, you'll get to see NXT and TNA Showdown on Netflix, which brings me nicely because Netflix is a streaming platform. Well, here
Nice.
comes TNA streaming platform, right? TNA Plus. Now, over here in the United Kingdom and Ireland, we've just opened up a new VIP tier. Now, look, for a
Yes.
price of two coffees a month, you can get
Wow.
exactly right, two coffees a month. Or if you want to go the full hog, you can just pay 99.99 for the year, and you will get TNA. Impact. You will get the archives. You will get the PLEs, the pay-per-views, everything over here. It is just opened. Get yourself downloaded and get it subscribed. But, Mr. Hometown Man, the importance of that streaming service from TNA, regardless of what happens with the distribution and everything going forward, that app alone has opened up so much for TNA in terms of the global presence of it already.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I don't think people realize, I mean, the average fan, and even myself, not being in business on the business side of wrestling, like I don't think a lot of people understand the value of the content and the library of TNA. But like, think about this: 2 decades of a library of the biggest names in professional wrestling history have come through the doors of TNA, and you can watch that right now on the TNA Plus app. 2 decades of content. I don't even, I can't even begin if I was in a negotiation with a distribution deal trying to put a money number on that. I know it's high. That's all I know. I know and it's got to be high because, man, the history in our company of TNA Wrestling, it's almost unheard of, right? There's companies that end up being a flash in the pan and they come and go. That's not TNA. We're not a flash in the pan. We are proven to be one of the best and top professional wrestling companies in the world. We've been proving that for over 2 decades. So, man, to get access to that library through the TNA Plus app for the price of two coffees,
Yeah,
man, you're blowing my mind, Adam.
I
Like
know.
that's why you aren't clicking right now and downloading it. And you're going to get BFG with it. It's not just like, oh, you'll get a couple matches and you'll get a little bit and you'll get a limited. No, you get it all and you get BFG, dude. That's a deal. That is a deal.
And on top of that, they'll also get Turning Point as well as Final Resolution coming up in
Yes.
November and December. Live Impact as well coming up in November. But you mentioned there about the 20-year history, and it's quite fitting just before we start talking about your good self that we bring up the Hall of Famers this year, the beautiful
Mm,
people, Hardcore
nice.
Country, Mickey James. I mean, you're talking about women there that ultimately the women's revolution. I always say this started in TNA wrestling
Yes,
with
it
the
did.
Gal Kims, the Amazing Kongs, and everyone like that. And people like the beautiful people and Mickey James solidified that moment as well.
Yep.
They're getting their deserved place in the Hall of Fame, and it just goes to show you how important that knockouts division was then and what it's done now for the knockout division in TNA.
100%. I mean, I love that you said that. The women's revolution that people talk about, it did start in TNA.
Yeah,
It was in TNA and that we first saw, these women don't need to have bra and panties matches. These women don't need to have pillow fights. These women just gotta go into the ring and kick some ass and show the world how amazingly athletic they are and how awesome they are at the craft and the sport of professional wrestling. And that TNA wrestling was one of the first places, was the first place that was really put on a pedestal as being meaningful. And the fact that we have an all female class, an all knockout class
yeah,
for the BFG Hall of Fame, they're getting the flowers that they deserve and they're being put again on the pedestal that they deserve. I love to see it. Those women are very, very deserving to be going into the Hall of Fame this year. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what they have to say and listen to their induction speeches because those ladies were part of a very special time in wrestling history, period.
yeah.
Not female wrestling history, not women's wrestling. Those women were part of an important moment in time in wrestling history. And the fact that they're given their flowers, they all deserve it very, very much.
Indeed, they all do. And I think the word really that we're looking for, because you mentioned there that you said about being meaningful and everything, I think the word for the women's revolution in TNA was consistent because it didn't
Mm,
just go. I think you even get it now where things just sort of they come and go in waves, where I
mm.
think that the knockouts are always prominent on TNA, no matter what week we're in, what month they're in, they're always there.
And I think this is probably going to be part of their speech. And if it's not, I'm going to make it part of mine right now. Back in the day, the highest rated segments, and this might even be the case now, but I know that this was the case back during the Spike TV era. The highest rated segments every week of TNA Impact at their peak on Spike TV were the knockouts
Yeah.
segments every single week. They deserve their flowers because they are a very, very important part of the of TNA wrestling history. And yes, and they've been consistent ever since. The highest rated, the most consistent, the most bang for your buck. They are just amazing. They are amazing. They are a very important part of the current TNA wrestling locker room and TNA wrestling history. So they deserve all the accolades and they deserve to have a full female class at BFG Hall of Fame.
They certainly do. But let's talk about your good self against all odds, your debut.
Okay, let's do that. I love it. I'm okay with talking about myself. This is
Again,
fine. This is good.
against all odds debut. You've been on a winning streak ever since. It took a slight jink last week on Impact when Nick
Yeah,
Nemeth
yeah,
managed to
yeah.
get one over on you. But how are you
Not without
finding?
controversy. Not
Oh, of
without
course.
controversy. Yes,
When is the Nemeth not without controversy in
that's
TNA
right.
right now? But
Hmm.
how are you finding the TNA? And does it surprise you when you look at that talent? You mentioned they're the younger guys, the Leon Slaters and the people like that are coming there doing amazing things. You look at that roster right now, and pound for pound, I don't see many that can shape up to it.
To be a member of the TNA wrestling roster right now, you wear that TNA t-shirt with pride. You know, you there's a reason that red and yellow are the colors of my mask. It's because I'm proud of to be a TNA wrestling roster member. Like the fact that I can call myself a TNA wrestler is something that means a lot to me. And to debut with the TNA logo underneath my feet alongside Leon Slater and the Hardys, and then to have my entire hometown chanting my name the entire match, I don't think it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't. It doesn't get any better than that. And my hometown fans have been singing my song and chanting my name ever since. And I can't tell you how meaningful that is. I'm honestly, I can't even put it into words how meaningful that is and the feeling that I get every time coming out in front of my hometown fans and having them singing my song and chanting my name. At this moment in time when TNA is just at the height of its popularity and on the cusp of like breaking to that next level of popularity, man, it's a special time and it's pretty awesome being a part of that.
Could happen on Sunday as well in your hometown with any luck. Who knows?
I mean, look, it's the where my hero Larry Bird, the hick from French Lick, played for 13 seasons and won 3 championships. I mean, I went to Lowell High School, right down the road from the arena. It's some other notable alumni of Lowell High School, Milton Bradley, the famous game creator. He graduated from the same high school that I did in my hometown, man. I come from a lineage of some pretty sweet, awesome people that live in my hometown, and to be able to do that in my hometown, man, in Lowell, in front of my fans at the biggest show of the year, it's pretty damn special, Adam.
Let's touch on the biggest show of the year. Of course, you mentioned Mike Santana. I
Yes.
said he would. I made a prediction last year that Leon Slater would win gold in 2025, and I was right. And I
Yes.
made a prediction earlier on this year that Mike Santana would walk out of Bound for Glory TNA heavyweight champion.
Mm.
I feel as if
I
that's the good one, a good mate to a good.
You've got a good track record. I mean, if you're already calling, if you, you mean you were right about Leon, and I think you're right about Mike Santana. Look, I will say this. There's a chant that kind of gets thrown around a lot in wrestling when somebody wins a championship. Sometimes you'll
Mhm.
hear the crowd chant, you deserve it,
Yeah.
you deserve it. And sometimes in wrestling, chants are inauthentic. It's just something that the fans just do because they feel like that's what they're supposed to do.
Mm.
I will add a prediction to what you said, Adam. If Mike Santana walks away with the TNA Wrestling Championship at Bound for Glory, that "you deserve it" chant that he will get after winning the championship will be the most authentic chant in professional wrestling that you'll hear all year.
Yeah.
Because I can think of nobody more deserving to hold that gold than Mike Santana.
Definitely so. I totally agree. And on top of that, I mean, who could the Hardys and the Dudleys, one final table, is
Yeah,
going to
man.
be just
It's
incredible.
history.
It
We're going to
is
be witnessing history. How often in wrestling do you get to say like this is a history making moment, like one final table? It's like it's not every show that you're like this is going to be a history making moment and mean it. We are saying that and we are going to mean it. We're all together going to witness history in that match with, I mean, two of the greatest tag teams of all time that they better be on your tag team Mount Rushmore. Or you don't know what you're talking about.
definitely so. You're not going to get involved in it, are
Ah, look, I don't
you?
need to be involved in that. I mean, I don't want to smudge history. I don't want to like ruin like a history making moment. I'm just going to sit back and watch that one like all the other fans. I just gonna watch that and enjoy it and be happy that I got to witness and be a part of history.
Exactly that. Just a couple more matches before we start wrapping up. Leon Slater,
Okay.
Javon Evans. Admission money alone is in that match right there. That match is going to be off the chain. With
I think Bully Ray tweeted that recently. He's like
Yeah,
that match is worth the price of admission alone. I mean, he
yeah,
wasn't just like talking about his own match and hyping his own match. You can feel that in in his post. He's like talking about, yeah, like that match alone is worth the price of admission. I couldn't agree more. If the fact that you get to in the UK pay 9.99 a month and you get Bound for Glory and all the library, look, that price that you're paying for the app in the UK is worth that one match alone, in my opinion.
indeed it is. Right, I'm wrapping up. So with that being said, this coming Thursday on TNA, but the go home for Bound for Glory, JDC
Yes.
and Ali will put themselves together before Hardcore War. They will go into war on Impact. Leon will call out Javon Evans as well.
Hmm.
Matt Cardona against Ryan Nemeth. There you go, a chance for you in your
I gotta
hometown.
keep. I got a close eye on that one.
Yeah, in your hometown, of course. Don't forget that. Trick Williams will appear one last time, hopefully, as TNA champion before Santana wins. And we spoke about Joe Hendry. Could he be cleansed for the final time by EY in a no DQ match? The only way you can watch it is TNA Plus. We've already mentioned the new VIP tier. Go and get that. But Hometown Man, it's been great talking to you. Enjoy Bound for Glory in your hometown. And we'll look forward to seeing TNA with all the gold the other side of Bound for Glory.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank you. And until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.